All right, partner. Keep on parodying, baby. You know what time it is. Crank this up with some hype tonight. A little too loud. Bring it to 15%. The name is Dr. Disresp-NOPE. I couldn't help but think of that kind of parody when these things came in and I saw what I looked like. But no, I am not out to be a Dr. Disrespect ripoff. This style of glasses is the best that I can find on Amazon for my specific setup and my specific issues with polarized sunglasses. What is up, everybody? This is Jay, aka MultimediaJay. Not trying to be too much of a Doc ripoff here. But I kind of have no choice. These are, I think the brand name's pronounced Torege or something. Torege. All right, get further in the song. You tell me this kind of synth-wavy type stuff isn't the sort of thing you can imagine a guy like Doc driving around a Lamborghini in. There we go. Well, you know, we could always just do this. Configure video. No, not configure video. Let's see here. Put a filter on it. If we really want to mess with people, we can do this. Color correction. And let's change the hue to be more red. There we go. That's scarlet looking. I need something like closer to here. Why can't I get some red on here? That's the closest I can get, except unfortunately I get turned green by it. Yeah, there we go. 90s music video, baby. Ditch that. Is there a way to put a filter on here to turn it monochrome and make it red? No, of course not. We got to do this. Set all lights to red. Crap! I forgot that light in the back is glitched off the network. All right. Scuffed all over the place. I've somehow managed to turn the place into something resembling a police siren, but yeah, we like to play games and we like to act like WWE characters. My color is blue, not red. Switch to Geekhouse dark mode. We're gonna get a bunch of error messages.
Sure. Setting 3 lights brightness to 100%. Sorry, it looks like the side light isn't available right now. Got it. Changing 3 lights to blue. Sorry, it looks like the side light isn't available right now. Got it. Turning 3 lights on. Sorry, it looks like the side light isn't available right now. Geekhouse dark mode activated.
Thank you. You piece of shit. Well,
Thank you, Jay.
Can't even drink from the darn drink thing correctly. The hell? This is normally the part where someone's like, hey, Jay, get a freaking sippy cup. Yeah, but the thing is, I already have something where I push the thing to open it so it doesn't spill all over my rather, well, pricey for me anyways, mechanical keyboard. Now, all right, a little bit of hand sanitizer. Let's try and use this stuff up now that the pandemic's in eclipse, whatever. So, there's a few things going on, including my camera got screwed up. And the main title of the discussion is very, 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 very multimedia meta. We got to talk about a little problem that Twitch streamers have with Twitch exclusivity. I tried talking about Twitch with Twitch support about this. They want to just toe the line and stick to their pre-whatevered answers on it. So that will definitely be something we can talk about with this sort of thing. Let's also make sure the color balance is as warm as it can possibly get so that if I ever get some decent lighting in here, I'm not smurfed. All right. So a couple of things. First, the Christmas tree is gone. It is March 20th, officially the first day of spring here in New England. But as anybody in New England will tell you, take that with a grain of salt. I am thinking of trying to, roll the dice on putting the snow shovels in the basement or in the cellar, and hopefully we don't have more snow in April. Well, I can always just go back and get one back if that happens to be the case. But it's nice and warm and mild now. So unless Canada starts having a problem in the next couple of weeks where they can't keep their air to themselves, whatever, it's something you come to expect in New England. It's just like, so with the Christmas tree gone, I kept the smart plug. I got this lava lamp going. We'll see if it ever does anything. Lava lamps are more of a thing with my dad's. I can't even see it with my current setup. I should put it on top of the speaker if I want it to be visible. Lava lamps are kind of my dad's generation. So here's I picked that up because I saw it in Walmart. I was like, ooh, lava lamp. I wonder if I can LED that so it's not a power sucker. Yes, you can. There are appliances. It takes a 20-watt incandescent or 25-watt incandescent appliance bulb, making it a very, very power-hungry light compared to literally everything else I have in the Geekhouse. And part of that reason is because of the heat. The heat that 25 watts gives off is enough to make that lava start moving after an hour or something like that. I tried picking up an appliance bulb that was solid state running off of LEDs, and I ran it for like hours, and that stupid stuff wasn't moving. It looks like it's starting to kind of move a little now, but so what I'm going to do is, I might use the lava lamp for streaming and then just manually have it switch on a day when I want to stream. So we'll see, what it can do, how pretty it's going to look or whatnot. It is a little out of the or otherwise we'll find another light. There's certainly plenty of like fancy lights we can have over there that won't be power suckers and stuff like that. I can always ask my dad too. I mean, if he had one of these back in the 70s or something, and if he knows I'm going to throw it out and be like, hey, Jay, I might put that in my room instead and help warm the place in the winter or something like that. I don't know. Or it could just be one of those things that he wants to throw out or something. He's been on that whole thing lately with like, oh, I'm retired now. I shouldn't have a lot of stuff sitting around. I should live a simple life and enjoy whatever years I have left. So that kind of thing. Then again, that is kind of a good way to live, by the way, so you don't develop too much attachments to stuff. All right, so yeah, sunglasses. These are not polarized, but they're not smoke lenses either. There's some special kind of something or another. Colors are black and blue, so they fit the theme. And they fit the theme. They just look like Dr. Disrespect glasses, except they're the wrong color. Hence the parody. I could have gotten the wig out that I used for April 2020, April Fool's Day, when I was doing a Doc knockoff like that. So, yeah, we got that going on. And, of course, they're not polarized, but they're not smoke lenses either. So everything's brighter and more visible. And I can see screen number 2 with no problems whatsoever. And of course, you can spot already in the project area the Delosaurus and a vintage Linksys WRT54G era router. As I continue the router project, the next tech video is going to be huge. So I cannot believe that I've spent this much time toying with routers, but I wanted to get them reflashed, and I want to have a fancy setup where all these smart lights can connect to whichever one gives them the best signal, and if the connection drops, like those lights that wouldn't change over earlier, they fail over to another device. I'm trying to put in some kind of load balancing. I've seen this work in the enterprise before. I'm wondering if home routers with fancy firmware, I almost said fancy footwear. I was like, what? I must be getting it mixed up with the store famous footwear or something, but I'm wondering if, stuff with fancy firmware and stuff can, recreate something in the, Hi. Mute. Jay, don't click around in YouTube without verifying the thing's turned off. Yeah, so I'm wondering if routers with fancy firmware can actually do their thing. Can actually do something similar, because that's one of the selling points of DDWRT. People are like, oh yeah, install DDWRT or some third-party firmware. It gives you a lot more features than your basic stock firmware does. So, of course, there's security issues to consider depending on how old the image is versus what vulnerabilities have come out since then. But it's the sort of thing where this is the sort of thing that's been on my to-do list for a long time, so I absolutely will. Let's wave shout-outs to Logan the Lurker. No. No, just kidding. So let's see here. All right, we have the project underway. After this project, though, the rest of the tech projects are not as critical. versus like cleaning up and decluttering the Geekhouse, and that will not be a video unless I find something nostalgic or something. Now, one of the reasons why I sprung for the furlough when people had to be furloughed was because of the to-do list that I've had sitting around for too long. One of them is to declutter the hell out of this place, and I'm not going to let the interest in making YouTube videos get in the way of doing that. We could be even talking about me getting out of console gaming and putting movies in those shelves. So it really is a matter of what exactly I want to do with all of that. What do we have for recap time? About 13:44 on that. So that's what's going on. There are some other tech projects that I can do, and I could just grind away with videos. But at the same time, there's things going on in gaming that I'm missing out on. Like ESO, I hope has fixed the Dungeon Finder by now, so I can show off this shader that I have. I also picked up Guild Wars 2 End of Dragons and barely got into it. Didn't even catch up to start the main story, quest before all of this stuff started happening. I have some other offline things to do as well as this whole thing continues, and I could get called back to work if the volume picked up, who knows. But got a whole bunch of things to sort out. For today, though, we need to talk about a little something that is basically the rotten fruit of the Streamer Awards, the latest thing that's going on with that. So, all right, we shall begin with comments, which I'm just going to read. I'm just going to read as is, because people have been coming in, and I've been getting a lot of people's opinions with my various videos about the whole Streamer Award thing. Why don't we begin with my actual take on it instead of what other people think I think about it. The Streamer Awards were an interesting idea, but they were hampered from the beginning by the people in charge, specifically Cutie Cinderella, who seems to have a problem with her own success. So it's just like there's been a lot of problems with poisoning the well and undercutting the event's potential going all the way back to before it aired, where when she did it live on her channel, she had that tweet that said, please don't do live reactions to it. And it's just been complete and total defense mode with her ever since. And of course, there's a lot of negativity right now in the comments on her videos because a bunch of XQC fans don't like that, don't like what happened. Not surprising. This is XQC we're talking about. I expect him to have a toxic audience of kids. If you're not familiar with him, you're living under a boulder. But XQC is a retired former professional Overwatch player who his Twitch stream started taking off around the time he was winding down his involvement in Overwatch tournaments. But style-wise, he is the ultimate man-child on Twitch. You think about some guy who never grew up and is essentially sitting in his room playing video games all day professionally. That's XQC in a nutshell. He might react to stuff, but at his core, he is basically an overgrown man-child who plays video games all day. Basically does what our parents were worried we'd do. And sometimes for very long periods of time. He might stream like 10, 12 hours, something like that. I think he crosses the line into getting a little unhealthy with some of his stream times, but he's known for essentially just being essentially that in terms of his style. So kind of like Asmongold, but probably even more so. At least Asmongold puts in some rather grown-up sounding commentary on things that you end up seeing on his YouTube channel. He branched out from World of Warcraft and other stuff, and I think people associate him with MMOs and gaming and mostly commentaries at this point. I mean, I could probably run Asmongold TV in the background while working on these projects and never have to listen to another streamer ever again. He keeps putting out these commentary segments. It's not unlike what I do with streams, where this thing kind of doubles as a radio show-ish type thing for people to listen to after the fact if they don't catch it live. And the view counters on YouTube just keep indicating that, people are coming to expect that from me. So I don't know if I could do a not-so-structured gaming stream anymore where I'm just like, hey, I'm just going to chill and play games. If anything happens, yay. Maybe I could do that over on Twitch, but I can't really find much of a reason to do anything on Twitch these days. Twitch is a secondary channel for me. It is absolutely an alt channel, except for Amazon watch parties. I can't think of anything over there that I wouldn't rather do here. And that's not going to get any better with what's going on right now with this incident that happened where someone actually got a copyright strike on YouTube for responding to the Streamer Awards. That thing, that Cutie Cinderella said, okay, the event's done now, everybody react to it, treat it like MasterChef. Boom, guy gets a copyright strike. How do I know this? Well, why don't we do one thing at a time here? So my take on the awards ceremony is that it is way too much Twitch back scratching. But Twitch has that problem. They have especially the American streamers, but it's not all Americans. There's some EU mixed in there as well. A little bit of folks from Asia here and there. But I mean, in terms of the English language streamers on Twitch, I should say, there is that Pokimane clique, so to speak, of the household names that everybody knows. I can start rattling them off, and anybody who's been around on Twitch will probably know these names at least as well as they know their emotes, like PogChamp or something like that. I can mention folks like Hassan or Destiny or Asmongold's technically a YouTuber, but he's in this category as well. But we can talk about Pokimane. We can talk about Pokimane. We can talk about Saikuno. We can talk about even Nim, who is one of the folks on camera in this event. Many of the names at the event were a who's who of Twitch, essentially, but for a certain subset of Twitch. The important thing to remember with this is that what is good for Twitch may not necessarily what is good for this clique of cool kids or whatever you want to call it that people are being cynical about now in the YouTube comments on the videos for the event. I think the event was shot with pretty darn good equipment, and as far as production goes, it went off really, really well. The only thing that really, from an audio-visual perspective, could have gone better, they obviously had someone new in the booth who wasn't all that great with audio just yet, not for this event anyways. Plus, it sounds like from listening to AMAs and stuff afterwards, that there was a bit of an issue with the production company not really understanding Twitch culture very well, which is understandable because Twitch is very good at looking better or looking bigger than it actually is. We're talking about, again, voice of reason. We're talking about a platform that is not even anywhere close to the biggest social media platforms in the world. Twitter is bigger than Twitch. TikTok, the non-Chinese division alone, is bigger than Twitch. WhatsApp is bigger than Twitch in terms of monthly active users. Twitch started out niche, and it is having a hard time being anything but niche. The reason why we think it's a big platform is because it's the biggest streaming platform out there in terms of hours watched. But don't forget the quarterlies doctor the numbers. Don't forget that. Twitch is in there in and of itself, including its expansion categories. YouTube and Facebook are limited to game streams only. So we can't even say that it's the biggest streaming platform in the world, because YouTube is probably bigger. Facebook is probably bigger. So it's like, and that's actually something that's popped up in Twitter discussions with executives at YouTube, talking about, what numbers are blah, blah, blah. And there's even a labeling issue where, well, make sure it says YouTube Gaming instead of YouTube, because if you incorporated YouTube Live into the numbers, it would bury Twitch, simply because of the sheer size of the platform. Another side effect of the much, much, much larger platform over here is that there's more crowds and there is no like cool kids club like there is with this group that had this award show. Now, but on Twitch, it's more a matter of languages. So you'll have English-speaking streamers. There's a very robust Spanish scene. There's a Portuguese scene. There's even Russian streamers. So I don't know how these sanctions are going to affect things, but there's actually a giant graphic that's generated off of Twitch streamers, the size of their audiences, and who's interacting with who, and it's split out by language group. I refer to it as the Twitch Galaxy or the Twitch Universe, but it's definitely out there, and it's something, I forgot who generated it. I have a couple of them from 2021. It's really cool, to see kind of the overlap between the language groups and the cultural groups, who's from this part of the world, who's from that part of the world. It's kind of neat, but it's part of the whole Twitch culture thing that there is more of a focus on personalities and stuff along those lines. Think of Twitch like a ginormous talk radio station. You probably know the names of some talent that you enjoy listening to. And in some cases, they get so larger than life that you probably like the talent more than the radio station. That's what we're dealing with here. So the event, really good. It was really nice. Just a few audio issues here and there. There might be some other issues with the methodology of how the winners were chosen. But as an audio-visual production, it was actually pretty darn good. There are a couple issues I had. I said that it reinforces everything that I hate about Twitch streamers. The issues I had with it is that it was a huge back scratching session. 70% of the votes were off of popularity. The panel, which was this little clique, represented only 30% of the votes for who won the awards. It's all buried. The methodologies, they have a website. The methodology is all buried in there. But it's just the problems with Twitch culture came back to haunt this event. For example, going on Twitter and saying, please don't do a reaction to the event, when Twitch is infamous for issues with copyright, outside of Twitch anyways. Twitch is infamous for issues with copyright, having drawn the ire of the MPAA and the RIAA, music and, video, entertainment, TV, whatnot, associations numerous times in the last few years. Twitch DMCA Mageddon, that name might ring a bell if you follow my commentaries on the matter. But because Twitch is going through the growing pains of what YouTube went through with DMCA in the 2000s. But they don't have the technology to really get out of it. And I don't know if they even want to build it like Google did for YouTube. So you have all of this. This event was, it was good presentation-wise, not so good conceptually. And the biggest problem I've had with it, quite frankly, is the doubling down on all the baggage that was introduced by the event. The antagonistic tweets, the nonsense that's going on since then. Even, I'm going to take a break from the internet because of all the negativity. Look, let me just say something about dealing with people and dealing with the internet. You don't have to be incendiary to get people to hate you on the internet. There are people out there that are using the internet as their little therapeutic punching bag or stress, those things that you squeeze with your hand to relieve stress. There are people out there that use the internet for that. They make little sock puppet accounts and they go and they tell you suck and that you're a waste of space. You shouldn't be on the platform, blah, 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 because they're miserable and they want to bring you down to their level. I've been dealing with this for years. 2006, YouTuber, no real accomplishment, no real experience, not really in any way, shape, or form used to being a content creator. I can't upload a YouTube video in very limited 2000s YouTube, 100 megs tops, even though I had better equipment than most vloggers back then, because I was actually using real cameras. Well, not like professional grade cameras, but even consumer cameras were better than the webcams so many vloggers were trying to carve out their spot on YouTube with. So I couldn't upload anything back then without getting like 5 or 6 hate comments about how I was fat, waste of space. That's 10 minutes of my life I'm never going to get back. And those were the tame ones. Like, shut up, you fat ass, da, 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 da. It's just like nothing but that. And nowadays it's settled down a bit because YouTube is working on the technology that is to moderate those automatically. So Twitch Auto Mod essentially has a YouTube competitor these days. But something else to consider, too, because I actually received a comment on this. Guy actually sent me this big dissertation bullet point list of things he hated about streamers. And it's, but Jay, I'm not saying that about you. And I'm like, well, I'm not a streamer, so that wouldn't apply anyways. It triggered my held for review probably because of the fiery language. Either he deleted it or YouTube deleted it, but I didn't. I don't know whatever happened, but my response got taken down with it as well. But I will say, you shouldn't automatically carte blanche hate streamers. You should see what kind of people they are and keep looking if they're not your cup of tea. So I talk, for example, about, I could sit here all day and turn this entire channel into a Pokimane hate channel because I don't like how she gets all immature about stuff. And she's like 20-something acting like she's still a teenager. And Valkyrie actually had some of that happen too recently. She tweeted a big STFU to people that are mad at her for playing Elden Ring instead of Grand Theft Auto roleplay. Instead of GTA RP. And I was like, okay, well, I guess she is part of this clique, so I should expect a little bit of outbursts like this from her. But the truth of the matter is, the solution is simple. Don't watch them. Deny them the watch hours and take your watch hours, even if you're not donoing or throwing any kind of money or tips at people. Deny them your watch hours. Take it to someone who's more mature and professional. And I can tell you, on YouTube and Twitch, there are plenty to choose from. And on YouTube, way bigger platform, you can watch wildlife cams, cat videos. Yeah, I don't know if Fail Army has anything live yet, but I used to be a big Fail Army fan a long time ago. But you can watch regular videos instead of streams. You can watch commentaries. You can catch up on topical stuff that's not time sensitive, like I do with Asmongold TV. Bottom line is, if you don't like what you're watching, you have options. So it doesn't need to be this thing, but not everybody thinks like that. That's the issue. So the negativity, still a thing in the comments for the 2 videos that Cutie Cinderella has on her channel. She, a Dexerto article comes out that she took her Twitter private. I'm taking a break from social media. But the truth of the matter is, you don't have to, she didn't even have to, upset people with the whole don't do reactions to this thing in order for people to get mad. People were going, the internet is full of people who will just carte blanche hate you for no reason. So there's plenty of people out there that are like that. They would have cried about the event and whined about the event no matter what. The key, blow them off. If they do anything more or they cross the line, deal with like a harassment policy or law enforcement or something like that. But if it's someone crying their little eyes out, I mean, ban them if you want to, but ban or block them if you want to. But by and large, understand that, people like that are going to be a thing. Because people do that kind of crap with the internet. Well, I think the internet should be moderated. No. If the minute the internet is moderated, there's going to be a competitor to it. There's going to be something you can VPN over to. Look at countries that censor their internet. And, tech-savvy people, they get a VPN service or something or things along those lines. Actually, no, you don't even have to do that. Look at people doing gambling streams on Twitch. People that don't live in the countries where they can log into a site like Stake or NetBits or whatever the heck it's called, that are just VPNing to another country and then doing gambling streams on sites that they're not supposed to be going to in the United States. It's a thing. I don't like it. I'm not going to do it. They're risking disciplinary action on their channels for encouraging dishonest behavior, something that YouTube has actually started to get a little tougher on lately. But it's out there. There's people out there using VPNs to go to website. Even the AVGN talking about how he couldn't watch something on Netflix until he VPN'd from Australia. And he's using it as a selling point for one of his sponsors. I'm like, somebody please tell. I know James Rolfe is an older guy doing content creation. Someone please tell the AVGN that YouTube is not happy about that stuff these days. You don't want to be encouraging dishonest behavior. It's a community guidelines thing now. I don't know. Well, if it does anything to his channel, thumbs up. The AVGN had a good run. Maybe I should play catch up on his videos that I've been meaning to watch before anything bad happens. I don't know. Who knows? Anyways, so back to the streamer awards. There was so Cutie Cinderella. So I'm taking a break from the internet. And then I see something like this. Let's go to Twitter and let's link up to this. So let's see here. Oh, someone followed me. Cool. Who was it? Or is there some kind of glitch and someone, something like that? Where did I bury that thing? There it is. Let's see. Minimize live control room. So actually we should probably do the opinions first before we get to this. So let's see. This has got to be a meme. No, it's real. This is an opinion. Welcome to YouTube, because there's a lot of us over here that are opining on this, and the content creation cycle for responding to stuff is slower on YouTube than it is on Twitch. So there might be people that do commentary channels that may not even get to opining on the streamer awards until this week, even though the event was over a week ago. So it's just no. I think we talked about the other one last time, but then there's some people that are like, oh yeah, it's a bunch of crap. Yeah, well then don't support it and don't watch it. It's the bottom line is though, you want to talk about, I got to take a break from the negativity. Well, if you run an event like this, you could have not even tried to be incendiary, and there would have been people on the internet picking it apart and being negative. So you could have, it's just, why would you make things worse? I think we've been trying to make this point for the last 15 minutes or so. Why would you make this worse? And especially for an inaugural event. We'll have to see how it goes then. I mean, oh yeah, well, Yeah, well, we got to get sponsors for next year. How about you get through this year first and see how it goes? I think the original prognostication was they're expecting only 50,000 concurrents. They got over 300 grand on that sucker. So at the peak of the award show. Why not just see how it goes instead of poisoning the well and undercutting your own potential? Home in on something later and stuff like that. But what about streamers? You couldn't even get them out of the house if, sign some kind of deal with them or something. Cut a deal with them. Let them know that their cooperation is vital to this being a thing again next year. And explaining that, yeah, we're bringing a little bit of Hollywood into Twitch, da-da-da-da-da. But the idea of it is a little bit, the thing with the Streamer Awards is that it is fundamentally problematic because it's involved with Twitch. And that's part of what we're discussing today, by the way, is the unintended consequences of Twitch and its little issues. Who's this? Oh, another graphic artist followed me because I do a lot of flashy screenshots. Are these even real people or are they bot accounts? I don't know. Someone new follower on Twitter. Yeah, but people leave when I get to incendiary or something along those lines. I'm also never going to hire a graphic artist for anything that I do. Part of what I do is I do it all myself and I learn from it. It's always a learning experience. So if I want to do things like custom emojis and emotes and stuff like I do with the, like I would have to do with the whole memberships thing, not like anyone chats a lot anyways, but if I had to do something like that for the custom emojis and things like that, then I would be doing it myself and becoming familiar with graphic design in that respect. It's all about taking a hobby and turning it into something more, don't you think? So anyways, probably the last thing I can say about the Streamer Awards that they're fundamentally problematic because of Twitch's baggage. What we have to talk about today for our main discussion is how Twitch streamers are set up to fail on DMCA on YouTube. But I can tell you that the other part of this with Twitch setting up its streamers to fail is that Twitch, the banned user rule, suspended, you cannot knowingly feature or advertise a suspended user. The banned streamer rule basically means that even if the Streamer Awards are not Twitch specific, then, and that's one of the reasons why I've been saying the name in quotes, it didn't occur to me until now, but I've had numerous reasons, but I can add this to the list. If Twitch doesn't do anything about its banned streamer rule, like on YouTube, where the responsibility is exclusively that of the person causing the problems, and it doesn't extend to people featuring them on videos or streams. If Twitch continues this, the Streamer Awards can never, ever be what it says it is. It's always going to be Twitch specific. And of course, the wild card, as I made a clip earlier today from the fan YouTube channel Champions Club, Dr. Disrespect fan channel. One of the reasons for our reference to Doc, besides the sunglasses. But the whole thing here with this whole setup, or with this whole thing, is that Dr. Disrespect, no matter how popular he is on YouTube, the banned streamer rule means he can never win anything or in any way, shape, or form be mentioned at this event. So how is it a Streamer Awards? I think its future is fundamentally problematic. But the thing you got to remember, keep this in mind, by the way, throughout this discussion. Know the difference between Twitch problems and Twitch streamer problems. This is not a problem with Cutie Cinderella. It's a problem with Twitch. Twitch has these rules. Twitch has these policies. Twitch has these unique, stuffy policies that limit and hamstring their content creators that the others don't, including other streaming platforms. Twitch has all of this stuff, and there are consequences to that. This is one of them. So, if Dr. Disrespect is to be anything at any of these, it can't be Twitch specific, and it can't be hosted on Twitch. So here's the thing. Here's the problem. Suppose Cutie Cinderella figures this out and says next year's can't be hosted on Twitch. Well, can she as a Twitch partner even stream it on YouTube or something where that's not going to matter? And then you have the whole complications of clips from the events. You can make them on YouTube, now that YouTube has clip functionality these days. But then there's the issue of clips can't go to LSF, clips can't be reacted to in Twitch streams. It complicates things further. So if you think that Twitch has this thing with stunting its streamers' social skills and making them a little more insular as people, this is one of the reasons why. It's those unintended consequences. And again, the Twitch Bowl effect. If you hang out in the Twitch ecosystem too long, you're going to get fishbowled by it. You're going to think that lava lamp still hasn't done anything. Shh. If you hang out in the Twitch ecosystem too long, you're going to get fishbowled by it. You're going to think that everything operates that way when that's not the case. So this is one of them. This is a side effect of the Twitch banned streamer rule. The Dr. Disrespect's kind of making fun of it, like, oh, we're not going to make an award show and give the award to our friends. So how could there ever be any, reconciliation? How can there be anything? I understand that the legal issue has been closed, but, there needs to be something in terms of whether, even if Doc doesn't return to Twitch, there needs to be something with regards to his status under the banned streamer rule in order to reconcile all of this. And I don't think there will be one, though, because if Doc gets it, then Twitch might have other people approaching them like Ice Poseidon or whatever, and maybe trying to get the same thing done. It creates a precedent that I don't think they'll want to follow up on. But this is the thing. I mean, I cannot, in good conscience, support Twitch with the way they cross the line on professionalism and do this. So, oh, you're such an elitist. Why are you always kissing YouTube's ass? It's not really about that. It's about sometimes the best of the worst. YouTube has its problems too, but YouTube's problems are not Twitch problems. Twitch problems can actually do a lot worse to somebody in terms of things like the banned streamer rule, making a persona non grata across all of the Twitch sphere because of that. Twitch exclusivity, like we're going to talk about tonight, can turn you into a DMCA fiend on YouTube under the right circumstances, but the solution is something that they're probably not going to approve of, and they're not going to like it. I think Twitch needs to collapse, quite frankly. They need to start declining and get brought, some maybe dragging and kicking and screaming, to the negotiating table where they can be knocked down a few pegs and not do anything, not make these stupid ass rules. Some of them may seem necessary if you've been in the Twitch ecosystem for a long time, but the truth is, we're going to get an object lesson in why those aren't necessary with the other platforms as they get more popular. So, side effects, folks. Unintended consequences. The streamer awards can never be what it actually says it is because of Twitch issues. That's the big issue to start thinking about. Doesn't matter how big it gets. If the criticism of the event is that it's a Twitch back-scratching convention, that's all it can be. And it's not entirely because of the people involved. It's also because of the platform that it's associated with and what Twitch does, again, to how people view live streaming and the way people approach live streaming. This is one of the reasons why I've taken the YouTube side in this culture war regarding Twitch's influence on YouTube. No tail wag the dog crap here. YouTube can do its own thing. It has done its own thing and been successful. We don't need Twitch culture influencing the way YouTubers do things. This is one of the reasons why. Let the drama, let the antagonism, let the incendiary nonsense, let the immature, juvenile, whatever, stay over there. It doesn't need to be here. Full stop. That's one of the reasons why I say the things that I say. What are we at here? 41 minutes lifetime? Do you want to have a jazz interlude, get up and stretch a bit, and get back into this? Maybe we can link everything in the meantime. What is this? More updates on the war. Okay. Screw it. Let's go find this DMCA here. And let's see. It's a little buried nowadays. I did take a screen capture of it, though, in case it got taken down. Let me see where. There it is. It just doesn't stick out very much. Okay. So, live control room, minimize, everything minimize, take it over to browser mode, link it up to Chrome. Let's link it up to Chrome, and let's put this thing on the screen here. Web browser, link it up to Chrome, and let's get ready. This could have stuff from Stream's potential. Here it is. Copyright strike from someone reacting to the Streamer Awards. The very thing that Cutie Cinderella said people could do now that the event was no longer live. We'll talk about this when we get back. This might have some stuff from streams potential. Who knows? The darn lava lamp still isn't moving, though. All right, let's talk about this, shall we? Twitch exclusivity equals DMCA set up to fail on YouTube. It's important for us to make sure that we say right off the bat that this problem is not a Streamer Awards problem or a Cutie Cinderella problem. It is a Twitch problem. Properly differentiate between problems with the streamers and problems with the platforms. I understand that Cutie had some controversial tweets and other social media posts and stuff and media appearances with the, oh, I'm taking a break from social media. Those are her issues. But this issue very specifically is a Twitch problem. The reason why I know this is because it is a problem with other streamers, and other streamers have had to take a very serious look at this and decide what they were going to do about it. So the controversial award show happens and it ends, and the videos go live on YouTube, and the tone on Twitch changes, or the tone on Twitter changes from, hey, please don't do reactions to this, to please react to it. Oh, good. The thing's finally doing something. The tone on Twitch changes, the tone on Twitter changed from please don't react to this to, oh yeah, please react to this. Treat it like MasterChef. And then I see this. How did I come across this copyright strike? It's not mine, by the way. I haven't shown any footage, and I don't intend to do so until I get a solid answer on this. This is a copyright strike for a small YouTuber who does no cam reactions to stuff. Think like what the Rhett Supre guys and Chip Cheesem and the Fail Sessions and other commentary channels used to do in the 2000s. If you were around for the days when no cam commentaries were kind of a generic spin-off of AVGN-inspired video game reviews. This has been a thing before on YouTube. It's been a thing before on YouTube, and it just really shows. I mean, I talk about the differences between Twitch streamers and YouTubers. This is one of the great examples of Twitch streamers not properly understanding the way things work when they come over here. So it's just like, there are going to be people who are doing reactions, and those reactions are not going to look like stream reactions or react streams or anything like that. The whole reaction thing in general, by the way, is a little something. Well, that's too much. We'll fix the things there. The whole I want to show the project area because I'm working on the tech project too. So the whole reaction meta, or whatever it is, reaction streams, react content as it's called, actually had a controversy on YouTube years ago with the Fine Brothers, with hashtag unsub the Fine Brothers, because they were trying to license out what would eventually become known as the React format. They had Kids React and the other types of series on YouTube, and then some genius decided, well, let's try and apply for a trademark and license this out. Needless to say, the internet wasn't happy with that, especially people who wanted to do that kind of style of video that had nothing to do with Fine Bros. They didn't want to be paying license fees for something really basic like a reaction. So this is all what exists today with the whole MasterChef meta and stuff among these Twitch streamers, just like many other issues that Twitch has that YouTube used to have, is already something that's been already chewed up and spit out, so to speak. It's already a thing that has come and gone on YouTube. So you have to understand when you come over to YouTube the history of the platform before you go, say, issuing DMCAs against no cam reactions. So I did some digging on this specific one, though, because I was like, what the heck's the deal here? So first off, how did I find out about this copyright strike? Well, this isn't that bad. So how did I find out about the copyright strike? I found out about it. I think we should go out a little further here, can't it? Yeah, and then we'll just take this off. Yeah, back it out to this. Yeah, all right. How did I find out about the copyright strike? I found out about it because when the when my feed started rumbling with more nonsense that had something to do with the streamer awards, I was like, why is there more drama with this thing? I thought it was over, and I'd already committed to not talking about it again because I was just, I thought it needed new management as it is. Oops, no. Get this right, darn it. I thought I needed a Alt, not the Windows key. I thought I needed new management. I thought it needed, there we go. I thought this whole thing needed new management, basically. So I really think though, if Cutie Cinderella, especially with the whole like undercutting her own success and stuff, if she couldn't handle all of the negativity that something like this would generate, then maybe she should pass it off to somebody else. Yeah, let someone else run it. I think the idea is cool. I think it could be something that could even be done on YouTube to get around Twitch's issues, like the banned streamer rule. But then again, if it goes over to YouTube, how does it carve out a niche for itself versus something like the streamies? And then there's a whole issue of the partner contracts versus for streaming on YouTube, having a YouTube channel that's big enough to get clips, that kind of thing, having a YouTube channel that can take clips and stuff. There's a bunch of issues, unfortunately, that Twitch is introducing to the ability of the streamer awards to continue being successful, not the least of which we mentioned before the break, meaning that the streamer awards cannot live up to their name because they're shackled by Twitch's issues. And even still, even if it was broadcast on YouTube, if you had like a Dr. Disrespect in the audience who was getting votes or something, he would have to be omitted from clips and discussions on Twitch channels and things like that, unless there was a statement from Twitch regarding the legal settlement with them or whatever it was. So Twitch fundamentally is problematic because of inside baseball stuff that they do. And this event is affected by it. So anyways, so with all the stuff churning again, with everything that I was hearing, I actually decided to I knew that she had taken her account private. I saw the Dexerto article, so I decided to do an inverse search on Twitter. I almost said Twitch. I decided to do an inverse search on Twitter. Now, Twitter, despite people treating it like Facebook and thinking it's like some personal blah, 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 I can give my personal opinions, it isn't. There are some very important differences between your Facebook page and your Twitter page. One of them being Twitter defaults to public, and the culture on Twitter, I keep almost saying Twitch. The culture on Twitter is it's very easy to get antagonistic on Twitter towards, towards anything that looks like you're hiding something. Like if you private your tweets, people who, yeah, they must have said something wrong. They must have people mad at them. Look, they privated their tweets. Deleting tweets. Ha ha, I win the argument. They deleted their tweet. Woo! Internet points. Whatever. Or even blocking someone. Oh, they blocked me. Ha ha ha. They couldn't handle what I had to say. Why'd they feel the need to censor me? You can get toxic with literally anything people do adversely in reaction to you on Twitter. And even stuff that they don't do adversely in reaction to you, but just in general, to the internet in general, like privating your account. So, if that thing's getting screwed up again, if you have your Twitter on private, people can, but you are still tweeting, or people are still responding to your tweets, Twitch Advanced Search lets people do an inverse search of what people are saying to you. Because one of the things you can use Advanced Search for is you can actually search for everything that somebody is saying to someone. Whether it's in response to current tweets or something like that, you can check the context to see if they're tweeting while everything's private and stuff along those lines. So again, you can't hide anything on Twitter. It's not designed for that. Either something is on Twitter or it's not. The only solution you have is to keep something 100% completely off Twitter. Full stop. Twitter is not designed with the same approach to user privacy as something like Facebook. It doesn't work. There is no personal page. And on top of that, just by design alone with advanced search, people can find out a lot of stuff that you're trying to keep buried. Just enter the right keywords, the right code words, and generate a query, which can then you copy paste the link, put in a tweet, and send to everybody else who doesn't know as much as you do. There's even a way to reference someone's tweets without QRTing them if you want to quietly opine on someone else's tweets. Advanced search on Twitter is like a search engine in and of itself. It's like learning how to program an SQL, sort of. It's like pseudocode. So you can't hide stuff on Twitch. Just like she couldn't hide this copyright strike after she told people, please react to this event. I want, please, I'm begging you, respond to it. Treat it like MasterChef. Boom, copyright strike. A small YouTuber got a copyright strike for doing exactly that. You can't hide it. That's how I found out about this. Inverse search. I'm like, oh, there's more rumblings about that event. Let's do an inverse search. She has her Twitter on private. Let's do an inverse search and see what people are saying to her. One of them was the person that got the strike. Well, I check out his channel in case it's like something that, you know, would get a DMCA, like someone stealing content. I have experience with that because I have people that have stolen my tech videos and re-uploaded them on their own channel. When you get big enough as a content creator, even if you don't have access to Content ID, you gain a very handy access to a rights management tab in your YouTube studio that lets you DMCA people who are re-uploading your stuff. If something matches, you're alerted to it. You can contact the YouTuber. You can issue a DMCA takedown request. You basically can strike anybody who is taking your stuff. Don't know what I've had it for a while, so I don't know. I don't remember what the requirements are. But I haven't DMCA'd anybody. There's very few circumstances where I would actually DMCA someone. And none of them have actually been met. Like if someone is like, for example, stealing my content and then putting links to malware in the description, that would be something I would strike them for. Thing is though, YouTube is actually doing a good job as it is with spam, scams, and deceptive content. All the stuff I see on Twitter from people, I lost my account, Twitter, YouTube, what the heck's your problem? With all that crap that I've seen, YouTube has been cleaning house. Out of the couple of people that have been stealing my tech videos, only one of them is still around, and they've only gotten 4 views since 2018 with one of my tech videos. So there's an algorithmic punishment for stealing people's content. And the others who stole my content, they self-destructed. I went and checked out their channel because the system lets me know who they are. I went and checked out their channel. I was like, oh, look, they're even stealing content from businesses. The businesses will probably DMCA them. They disappeared. The channel's I actually saved some bookmarks at one point, and I went and looked. Oh, the channel's gone. Yay! They got closed for violations of policy. Gee, I wonder what that could have been. So the ability to DMCA is something you get when you become a large enough creator. So but there's some other YouTube inside baseball things that are a thing with this. So let's get through this. Let's see if we can keep this story straight first before we start talking about the theory here. So I did an inverse search and found the tweet. Well, hey, how come I got a strike? And then I went and checked out this guy's channel. So he does no cam responses and he streams on Twitch. He has like next to no production value whatsoever. It's literally the screen, what he's playing, and he keeps pausing it or talking over it. Retsupere, Chip Cheesem, the fail sessions, stuff that was a thing on YouTube and an entire scene of creators who were AVGNing non-game stuff like 10, 15 years ago. It was mostly a 2000s thing. It started dying out in the 2010s, especially as streaming took off and the gear to have like your face cams and stuff became more of a standardized thing as opposed to some mystery voice talking over everything. Even today, I think it holds you back a bit if you're not putting yourself on camera. So, but there was an entire group of YouTube channels back in the 2000s that were doing what this guy does. Let me get a pointer on here. OBS is screen 2. Give me my pointer back. There we go. So you cannot have like a static graphic and stuff. But yeah, content removed by Cutie Cinderella. Strike on March 18th, so it was recently, for a video created March 13th. Streamer Awards 2022, Pokimane, blah, 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 blah. I go check this guy's channel. He doesn't really do much in terms of production value. He doesn't even think of like titles or thumbnails or anything of that sort. He just like takes from the video or something along those lines. It's not a very well-established YouTube channel. But it's commentary and it's a reaction. It is very crude. It is very primitive, but it is a reaction. It was the thing that Cutie was actually telling people to do. So I was like, what is the deal with this? I went all Seinfeld, like, hey, what's the deal with... No. Like, what's going on here? So this video was created March 13th. So was the official video for the Streamer Awards. So I look around this guy's socials and I find out he has a Twitch channel. And his I talk about rudimentary production value. He's basically a VOD barfer. his main YouTube channel, he sends his VODs over from Twitch and just leaves them as is. He doesn't really do much in terms of production stuff to begin with. He just comments on things and has a few people hanging out with him in chat, watching videos together. Kind of a typical React streamer, except with like no face cam and barely any effort into the production or the showmanship. And he sends the VOD over to YouTube. That's what got the DMCA. So I did some digging around, and I found out, and I talked about this on Twitter, he was doing because I found his Twitch VOD, which is still up. He was doing a reaction to Cutie Cinderella's original VOD. And I can tell because the title is what it was before the awards show. The way Twitch VODs work is they take the name of the first title that you have. You can change the title afterwards, but the VOD is going to be called whatever it was when you started streaming. So Cutie Cinderella started out with, award show at 5. That if you go to her, she could change it after the fact now that I've talked about this. But if you go to her channel and you take a look at her VODs, the VOD from the night of the award show is still under the original title from when she started streaming, which is what this guy was responding to. This guy was doing a no-cam reaction and got DMCA'd. What happened? There's only one logical answer, and I can't emphasize enough. I don't know this for a fact. Cutie Cinderella needs to come out and give confirmation herself that this is what happened. Otherwise, it remains nebulous. The problem with it remaining nebulous is that there are individuals on the internet, haters especially, that will piece together dots that don't exist. They will connect the dots themselves, even if you don't. It's a classic problem on the internet. Classic thing, whoops, why DMCA, my little clock thing there from, have I been doing routers that long? DMCA, that classic internet problem where people connect dots that shouldn't exist. They shouldn't be connecting. If you don't give them an official answer, they will fill in the blanks for themselves, and that's what they will treat as fact. It's not fair, it's not correct, but it's people for you. So she needs to come out and verify that what I think happened. Otherwise, all I can do here is speculate. All the world can do is speculate. And there will be people out there assuming that she's going on a DMCA spree or whatever. Here's the one and only logical answer to logical explanation for this. And this is why we're here today. Created March 13th, 2022, just like the official YouTube video for the Streamer Awards is circa March 13th, 2022. When on March 13th, 2022? There's an issue that I've run into with Twitch streamers, of course, but there's an issue that I've run into with the way Twitch streamers are on YouTube. And it goes back to an incident that I first found out about last summer in 2021. With Kyungi, one of the Korean streamers, IRL, chat streamer. She has her own theme going with what she does. And an incredible light setup, I should say. She has this bright pink, almost like light bloom effect going on with the stuff that she has in her, with her streaming setup and the way she has her key lights and other stuff set up. But I saw at one point a reporting section in her Discord. Maybe I've been banned from it and can't see it anymore, or she took it down, but it's not a thing anymore. But I remember seeing a section in her Discord for reporting clips and VODs. Basically, she was having problems with clip snipers. And she was basically getting flagged and almost kicked out of the YouTube partner program for reused content. Why? Because clip snipers were basically taking her Twitch clips and uploading them to YouTube before she could upload anything from her streams to YouTube. The way YouTube Content ID works, unfortunately, whoever uploads something first is automatically given ownership, regardless of whether or not it's legitimate. It's fine for videos. It is a problem for live streamers, especially if you're streaming on another platform. So what happened with Kyungi was she had her clips taken by clip sniper channels and quickly uploaded to YouTube before she uploaded the VOD or any videos that she was making based on her stream. So other people got the digital ownership of those clips, and her content contained those clips, too many of those, and you have a problem with reused content. Our systems found that you are reusing other people's content without adding context or commentary. So her VODs or her highlights videos would have done that. She was considered, with her own stuff, of being someone reusing content, might have even been taking hits in the algorithm with views and stuff. So, and her channel was almost thrown out of the partner program for that. But this is not a Kyungi problem either. Just like it's not a Cutie Cinderella problem either. Let's get a lot bigger than both of them. Asmongold had this problem. And he eventually had to make a YouTube video telling people to wait a certain amount of time before reposting things from his stream. Because of this very problem. Whoever uploads first gets digital ownership. Fine for videos, terrible for streams. Especially if you're on Twitch. Even more terribly so if you are on Twitch subject to 24-hour exclusivity because you're an affiliate and a partner. For those who don't know, when you broadcast something on Twitch as an affiliate or a partner, keep in mind affiliate contracts are one size fits all. It is a legal contract, by the way. The affiliate contract is one size fits all. It's entry-level monetization on Twitch. Partner contracts are individually negotiated, but there's a generic template for entry-level partners. So there are some situations where some larger creators on Twitch will actually have it put into their contracts to take more liberties with these provisions. But in terms of the generic stuff, the one-size-fits-all stuff, and anything that is patterned after the Twitch affiliate agreement, you have a 24-hour embargo period with anything you broadcast on Twitch. And it will be absolutely exclusive to Twitch for the first 24 hours of its existence. Afterwards, it can go anywhere. This eliminates, of course, multi-streaming and double stream. I said mono stream. I was like, what? This eliminates multi-streaming and double streaming from the equation, which I consider, there's a lot of commentators out there that say multi-streaming is the best. I don't think it is. I think you need to develop unique presences on unique platforms. And one of the weaknesses of multi-streaming is there might be differences in the disciplinary standards. So you might have content that's okay for one platform, but not for another. Do you really want to get strikes on one of your platforms because it's, you don't know about the differences between YouTube and Twitch, or Twitch and Facebook, or YouTube and Facebook? Here's a great example, and this is an easy one. It has nothing to do with anything that would even remotely be considered TOS, but what some platforms call engagement spam. Twitch bits versus Facebook stars. I read up on this earlier, might have changed since then to try and fix this issue. But assuming nothing has changed, if it has, then I'm wrong, and I'm outdated, but I'm old. I'm not surprised if I'm outdated at something. Facebook apparently let you ask for stars if something big happened in a video game. So you're playing along, something big and cool happens. You're like, hey, how about some stars for that, that frag in a shooter, or that goal in Rocket League, or whatever it is. That was pretty awesome. How about some stars, folks? That is against the TOS for bits and cheering on Twitch. You cannot ask for bits. You cannot ask for people to cheer bits on Twitch. You cannot also do quid pro quos either. Like, someone cheers 500 bits, I'll do jumping jacks. You're not allowed to do that. Bits have to be completely voluntary, but that wasn't the attitude towards Facebook stars. Maybe it's changed since then to make it more consistent, but that by itself could get you in trouble on one platform for engagement spam, trying to farm engagement instead of letting it happen naturally, while it's perfectly acceptable on platform number 2. So yeah, multi-streaming, not the best thing. But anyways, Twitch exclusivity, 24 hours. You agree that whatever you broadcast on Twitch is embargoed from going anywhere else for 24 hours, or being available anywhere else. There's multiple interpretations of this. And so that leaves the very, very gray area of what if something goes to YouTube during the embargo period and stays private, so nobody can see it until the embargo is up. And it's like lifting an NDA and you publish the video that's been sitting there quietly while you were still in the embargo period. There's not really a good answer for that, which Twitch needs to jump on, because Twitch actually has articles that interpret its own policies, like exclusivity. Twitch actually has articles that can be used to interpret its own policies. So, like, for example, even one on the exclusivity, which is why they say explicitly in their own help literature that despite the affiliate exclusivity, you can stream on Twitch, end the stream, and then jump onto another platform as long as you're not streaming on both at the same time. So there is explanation literature out there for this. And they need to jump on that with regards to the one and only solution to these clip snipers. So back to the DMCA. If this commentator with his no-cam commentaries was reacting to the streamer awards before the YouTube video went live on March 13th, this could cause problems for Cutie Cinderella in terms of reused content and getting flagged by the systems for it. This is the one and only time when this DMCA would make any sense. Same thing with Asmongold, same thing with Tyongi. They had to come out and actually say something to their audience about when people, re-upload their stuff because of this very situation, where whoever uploads first gets digital ownership, even if it's the wrong person. And somebody who is subject to Twitch exclusivity needs to risk playing fast and loose with their own contract to have something registered in Content ID in advance. And this is the workaround that I think could do this. Even if you just delete the stream afterwards or something, or maybe just keep it around on private. The solution to this, which Twitch doesn't have any official stance on, and they need to say yay or nay on this in order to make it something that maybe more streamers would consider or not consider. The solution to this is to register your content and Content ID via a second stream privately going out to YouTube. One of the cool things you have on YouTube here is you can set your stream to private, make it an invite-only event, and not invite anybody. So you could double stream to Twitch and YouTube, and nobody knows about stream number 2. They can't access stream number 2. They can't see stream number 2. They don't get notifications, nothing. You leave everybody out of stream number 2, and your stream on Twitch gets registered in Content ID while you're doing it, essentially cutting off all these clip snipers. Is this ever going to be something that is officially supported? That's the important question here. It fulfills the 24-hour embargo that Twitch is looking for. And it solves the problem of needing to DMCA people if they upload your stuff before you can. Because there's no chance for them to do that. The clip snipers now have to play by the rules. It's over. Problem solved. But will Twitch, with their stuffy exclusivity and their unique inside baseball issues that are unique to the platform, will they ever have a problem with this? Who knows? I don't see why they would. But it's not. Is it the sort of thing that goes out on partner guidance or something? But it needs to go to something official, like the partner guidance they send to their partners every so often. Before we'll probably see more streamers doing this. But that's the only reason why this strike would make any sense whatsoever. Anything else, we got another problem we got to figure out. Now, we can start talking about, do we have a new irate gamer situation on our hands? For those of you that don't know, in the controversies between the AVGN and the irate gamer, there were people making commentary videos and even full documentaries expressing their dislike of the irate gamer and the way he was plagiarizing jokes from the angry video game nerd. And then there were people who are getting copyright strikes from Y2B Productions, Chris Boers' production company, or someone pretending to be Y2B. The system wasn't as refined as it is today, where if you hang out on Twitter and you watch people complain to YouTube like I do, see what kind of toxic crap people are throwing around these days, you'll find out that there are people that are getting their channels terminated for abusing the DMCA. It happens. Maybe not as much as people would like, but there are people who have complained to Team YouTube because their channel got terminated for abusing the DMCA and stuff like that, or filing a false takedown. It's good to know that it happens, but It's good to know that it happens, but has YouTube done their due diligence in verifying that? Because I also see people who try to counter notify and YouTube doesn't accept it. Like the situation with V Westlife earlier, where he had a video, I guess he had a video get content ID'd. He challenged it, then it turned into a timed DMCA takedown, and he refused to accept the other party's option for him to just set it back to what it was, where whatever music he was playing out of the radio he was working on was, claimed by the record company. Different story altogether. But he really should have used the song scrubber. No, that's a thing now. It's in Creator Studio. If you have a content ID claim because of commercial music, you can use the song scrubber to scrub the track and drop the bitrate way down. So ask yourself this question. Would you rather have potential problems with your channel or segments of a YouTube video or a stream that sound like a crappy MP3? On streams, people watching after the fact can be like, oh, maybe the stream got laggy. That's why the sound sucks. Nobody has to question why the sound quality suddenly turns into like a very bad MP3 because you used the song scrubber because of a record company claiming your video. So there's another workaround with Content ID too, where you have a watermark in everything that you upload that you register into Content ID, and then you Content ID your own videos. So that way, when the record companies content ID you, you split the revenue with them because you're both rights holders claiming a video. So a little bit harder to do that. You need to have a watermark that you play literally every single video that's content IDable. But I think the real solution to content ID is for YouTube to make it proportionate. So you wander through a shopping mall doing an IRL stream. Katy Perry plays on the radio for 3 minutes. The record company helps himself to 3 minutes worth of your ad revenue instead of the entire 6-hour VOD. It's just, I don't know if it'll ever happen because of the shaky nature of these alternative systems for the record companies and rights holders, but a man can dream, can't he? So there we go. Right then and there. Twitch exclusivity equals DMCA set up to fail on YouTube. The situation with these streamers is, with regards to clip snipers and other reused content issues, is that Content ID lets people gives people ownership if they upload it first, and people watching Twitch streamers who are clip snipers and download clips re-upload have the opportunity to do it first. So it creates this problem where the only solution is to DMCA people if they upload your own content to YouTube before you do as a Twitch streamer. The only real solution right now with the current setup of YouTube and Twitch, secret private stream that nobody ever knows about. Maybe it's not even as good quality either, but it serves to register your content in Content ID, even if nobody ever sees the private stream. That way the clip snipers are denied the ability to potentially get a channel flagged for reused content with their own content. That's the only explanation for that strike that I can think of. If this isn't the case, then we have a real hot potato on our hands, and I don't see why anybody should publicize anything that Cutie Cinderella does ever again. This goes back to the discussion we had on the power of death. At the center of every, content, online media, content ID, copyright, DMCA, blah, 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 is the simple question of who has the power of death. There are people like myself who say use the song scrubber no matter what to try and release the claim by degrading your audio if there's a claim on your video. The reason why is because the rights holder sets the policies on what happens with Content ID. And they can change them too. Yesterday's claimed videos could suddenly have a Content ID block. Too much of that, you're treated as somebody who's not respecting copyright. You start losing features on your channel. You might get kicked out of the partner program. You might get demonetized across the board, etc. So even if you think, what about fair use, they say. Well, guess what? YouTubers have been talking about fair use for decades at this point. But fair use is something you want to get a lawyer involved with. It's not something you automatically have. You have to be willing to go to court and prove that you have the ability to fair use something. It's a legal thing. It's not some defense you get to claim because a TV studio got mad or whatever, a rights holder got upset with you because you're streaming MasterChef on Twitch. It's not the way it works. But while you are using your fair use defense, which you probably haven't thought out and probably haven't gotten legal counsel on, while you're doing that, fair use, don't take my stuff down, it's fair use. While you're doing that little internet misconception there, whatever it is, the power of death remains in the hands of the rights holder, who can suddenly decide, no, I don't just want to claim this person's video, I want to put a time takedown on it and DMCA them. Or DMCA them outright, turn it into a strike right off the bat. Is it really worth it versus using the tools that YouTube has developed to make something like this? Well, that has nothing to do with this specific streamer awards issue. That's just kind of a general thing. It's the side of the story that people don't think about when they're going around thinking they can make YouTube videos about just about anything. No. You use other people's stuff, you might have to deal with the other person. That's why the React stuff that I do is very heavily limited, usually to commentators who want their stuff passed around, like Devin Nash trying to grow his brand, you know, and saying it itself on his own streams. He doesn't care what other people think of him. He wants to focus on providing value and running his talent agency. So he's come out and he said, yeah. You know. And then there's other people, there's other streamers that have explicitly, well, he's more of a YouTuber these days, but there are Twitch streamers out there that have openly come out and said, I don't mind people using my stuff. Ludwig's one of them. I hope Ludwig has a solution for not getting flagged for reused content, though. He might have to abridge what he's saying to take this issue with YouTube and Twitch into account. But is it really a YouTube issue? YouTube is just doing what makes sense. Whoever puts something on YouTube first is obviously going to be the owner. But when Twitch is embargoing you for 24 hours, someone else gets to claim ownership. So you get around that by having something quietly on YouTube, getting ownership in the systems until you can take it off embargo, take it off NDA. But will Twitch ever be on board with that? I actually sent in a support ticket for Twitch affiliate support. They actually responded. Kudos to them. For smaller channels, Twitch support is known for being glacially slow, especially if someone gets indefinitely suspended for some false flag or whatever it is over there. Another reason why I'm not so fond of streaming on Twitch. But they actually responded to me and they towed the line. They would not give me an answer on that. They probably couldn't give me an answer on that because that stuff has to go to legal. That's probably the sort of thing. I was just getting the gears turning at it. I was like, hopefully this is some kind of water cooler discussion at Twitch. Maybe your lawyers can look over it. I'm hoping that somebody is talking about this at Twitch, because if they don't, here's the thing. Twitch can't keep the circus running forever here. This year, as we've seen the streaming bubble continue to burst and revenues drop for these streamers in terms of the return they're getting from stream grinding, we're seeing more and more streamers diversifying how they make their money. They're starting Patreons, they're doing Ko-fis, they're doing other stuff. They're trying to get partnered on YouTube for their videos, their highlight videos and other stuff. Have a playlist for Yugi, by the way, because she was one of them. They're trying to get partnered on YouTube. They're trying to do stuff on TikTok. They're trying to do stuff on Instagram. They're trying to monetize elsewhere and things like that because of what's going on, or maybe issues with Twitch, like in the case of Justa Minx, like in the case of, Justa Minx trying to make money elsewhere, or, do content elsewhere in case she gets banned off of Twitch, that kind of thing. In this day and age of people trying to become more omnimedia, which reflects, by the way, the changing nature of the industry, this discussion needs to happen. This question about the private stream to YouTube to take care of the content ID thing that people can't see until they're allowed to see it needs to be a conversation over at Twitch. They have to deal with it. Otherwise, what are they going to do? Lose more streamers to YouTube? Maybe someone doesn't want to be a YouTube streamer because YouTube's not as developed as a streaming platform. The announcements have already been made for enhancements to YouTube streaming that will roll out in 2022. But even without people wanting to be streamers over on YouTube, the allure of being more omnimedia is causing these folks to change their style. They're not stream grinding as much as they used to. They're getting involved on more platforms, doing more things. Could even be the case where instead of stream grinding 6 to 10 hours a day, They do only a 6-hour stream and spend the rest of their day working on videos, taking Instagram pictures, recording TikToks, the works. But that's the move that I've been seeing happen. And it isn't just about creators trying to stay full-time content creators either, which is an issue on YouTube as well. I caught up on the drama involving the AVGN and what's going on with him and Screenwave and the other stuff. Why it's been such a problem the last few years. Me, I've just been enjoying the nerd episodes and whatever other videos James makes as a YouTuber to YouTuber. I haven't gotten too involved in the corporatization or whatever might be going on with Screenwave. But this is a changing landscape. It's a way people are reacting to the changing landscape. It's not if, but when more channels have these problems in 2022. It's not if, but when we find out about somebody getting DMCA'd by a Twitch streamer because of this kind of stuff in 2022. It's not if, but when we see another high-profile incident of this that causes some kind of argument on the internet, or a low-profile incident that a nerd like me finds out because I'm really good at querying things. I've worked with SQL and databases, and I've pretty much got the pseudocode down for finding pretty much whatever I want on Twitter if it exists, through queries and command line type stuff. That's how I found out about this strike. An inverse query where I was like, show me everything people have been tweeting at Cutie Cinderella, sort by latest, and oh, look at this. You can also put in some keywords to expedite the process. Yeah, you can't hide anything on Twitter these days. It's not a problem with any one individual streamer, though. It's a problem with Twitch. Twitch and their policies and the unintended consequences of their policies. And it's also something we got to think about with the changing industry. If you've logged onto Twitch any time in the last year, you've seen the attempts to refine the UI and introduce more algorithms. There are actually some streamers that I now have started watching because the algorithms introduced me to them. And they seem like decent people. They're not as big as the big names I'm already familiar with, but they're friendly and they have potential. Some of them are even part-time content creators, so they don't even have to worry about whether or not they can make ends meet with their streams. They have more creative freedom because they're not chained by the need to pay their bills with it. They do less stuff, they stream less hours, but so why would Twitch do this? Of course, I saw this coming years before it happened. I saw big streamers complaining when recommended for you was put into the directories instead of it always being viewers high to low. I remember all that. The answer is quite simple, and we talked about it very early on in the discussion. What's good for Twitch is not always good for creators. And what's good for Twitch is focusing on the viewers and making sure that with YouTube and Facebook getting beefier with their streaming offerings, and of course Trovo now having support on, I believe, Streamlabs or Stream Elements. Somebody added Trovo support for, some stuff like that. So just forgot who it was. There are other platforms. And of course, don't forget, video is going everywhere. Streaming is going everywhere. Instagram Live is a thing now. TikTok has a form of streaming. So, the other platforms have ways of attracting eyeballs. Some of them are ways that Twitch, quite frankly, does not. Now, Twitch is so focused on live, they have almost no chance of attracting eyeballs from something other than live streams. And individuals are not really conditioned to look for stuff other than live streams to watch on Twitch, even VODs. It's a hardcore, if you have someone watching VODs, it's a hardcore fan of yours who really, really likes you and wants to watch more. So, but it is in Twitch's best interest as a platform to make sure that viewers always have somebody they're interested in watching, regardless of who it is. And that is absolutely not in a streamer's favor. And so we see, like I've been seeing and been introduced to some stylistically similar streamers through their admittedly cruder algorithms over the last year or so. So we see down in that left panel, especially down in the corner, potential replacements for literally every streamer you watch. Some of them are other big streamers, but some of them might be streamers you never heard of. The algorithms are trying to figure you out, even on Twitch, so they can recommend stuff that you want to watch. So if something happens between you and the streamer you're currently watching, or something happens to the streamer, you still watch Twitch. That's going to do something to the hierarchy on Twitch at some point. The question is when. Depends on how quickly can Twitch get it working to the point where It helps assure their bottom line, even if it's a problem for streamers. It's not the 2010s anymore. Not even on Twitch. So what do you think that's going to do to people wanting to diversify what they do where? And bringing this issue with Content ID on YouTube versus Twitch exclusivity to the surface to be discussed, maybe even at TwitchCon, now that it's starting back up this year. It's a changing world. It's a changing online media scene. It's a changing Twitch. It's a changing YouTube. It's a changing Twitter. It's a changing everything. And what do? Do you adapt with it, or do you let yourself become outdated? Some very heavy stuff. But this issue that we have in the title of the stream, Twitch exclusivity equals DMCA setup to fail, where Twitch streamers, if they don't know about the private stream thing, kind of are forced to DMCA people who upload stuff onto YouTube before they do, especially if it causes problems to their channel. This is going to become a talking point. The question is when. And what kind of nonsense needs to happen before this finally does? How much longer is this going to continue? As it stands, my reaction stuff is very limited because of issues outside of this. But knowing this, it's now in play with the Twitch streamers too. Consider everything embargoed until we see the actual YouTube video from the actual streamer. Even if I have a Twitch clip, wait for the VOD to be clippable on YouTube before I say anything about it or do some kind of other. And it really makes me, not really on Twitch. But it really makes me wonder if this is going to be a problem with streamers on YouTube. Because the way recap segments work often is people are watching Twitch clips. Interesting. What if there's a Twitch clip, but there isn't a YouTube clip? So you see what I mean? Any streamer who doesn't want to have this problem needs to take a look at that private stream trick. Because otherwise, people reacting to your Twitch clips, if they upload to YouTube for like a reaction video or something before you actually get that content registered in Content ID, they become the owner, and you potentially become at risk for getting flagged for reused content, even though it's your own. It's a technical glitch, but it's a glitch that's going to keep on happening. It's something that multiple streamers now have had to make decisions on in terms of talking to their viewers about when to re-upload stuff. Yeah. 7:36 at the Geekhouse. I got some stuff to do later tonight. Do we have a shout out for the day today? Is anybody live right now that I might want to do a shout out of the day for? There's people saying stuff to me on Twitter. That's nice. Oh no, that's an old notification. Over on Twitch, who's live? Anybody I might want to do a shout out to? Bunch of people playing League of Legends for some reason. I don't know. We'll just leave it as is. Skip it today. I don't really want to be phoning things in for stuff like this. But yeah, this is a problem, and it needs to stop being a problem. And if Twitch won't address it, they need to be dragged to the table and made to address it because of the changing conditions of the online media world. And those changes will definitely come sooner rather than later, maybe even this year. Till next time, this is MultimediaJay signing off. Thanks for stopping by.